Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Hoya Locker Room, episode 96. We're welcoming to the program, to the platform, Wayn Bristol Jr. and Ryan Matumbo. Ryan's running a little late. We hope that he's able to come through. As we were speaking to Wayn in the pregame, we're really excited about the coming season, 23-24 season. But we also want to give a special shout out for those who are coming back from the prior season, and obviously Mr. Bristol Jr. fits in that category. And before we dive right in, Malcolm
let me ask you a question.
Malcolm Stansbury, my esteemed co-host, wants to ask a question.
Do we have a Twitter handle?
We certainly do. Our Twitter handle is @RoomHoya. IG is Hoya Locker Room. And we have a YouTube channel, Hoya Locker Room also. Please subscribe, please like, please check out our previous episodes. We really like bringing Hoya point of views, Hoya narratives into the equation. And as we said, we got the exciting season coming up. And Markham, let's get going.
Beautiful. Let's jump right into it. A question we always like to ask everyone, Wayn, is first of all, also let me just say, I'm kind of partial to you because you are, like myself, a junior, Wayn Bristol Jr., Markham Stansbury Jr. That's a good start for you. But how did you arrive at Georgetown?
First, I want to say thank you guys for having me on the show. And how did I arrive at Georgetown? When I entered the transfer portal during the fall semester, Coach Pat and the staff reached out, were recruiting me, and I felt like, it was the best decision, staying close to home. My family could be here, being at a prestigious school, both athletically and academically. So I felt like it was a no-brainer for me.
And you were in the transfer portal, for those who don't know, from what school?
Howard University.
All right, so just sidebar. I want you to complete this sentence. In second grade, we used to have they might have a sentence. Washington, D.C. is the nation's blank, right?
Yeah.
Fill in the blank with capital. So fill in this blank. Ain't no party like a blank party.
No, hey, I ain't with all that no more. I'm a way sex now.
There you go. Ain't no party like a GU party.
So I want to backstep for a minute. Wayn is a DMV local. Obviously, we love it when our DMV people stay at home and go to school. You went to Riverdale Baptist. It was a standout there. At Howard, you were MEAC Rookie of the Year. 12 points a game, 41% shooting, 50 on three-pointers in 33 games. Your dad, senior, played in Maryland, 1990 through 94. Want to give him a shout out. So again, you came to us as a marksman. How did your role change? And also I want to throw into that equation. You were injured to start, so you've had a bit of a tumultuous journey. You've had a challenging journey. If you could speak to that journey and what it means to play at Georgetown and what it means to play at home, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, so my journey's been kind of rough. Like you said, I'm a rookie of the year, my freshman year. That sophomore year, I tore my labrum in my hip, and it was also the COVID year, so I missed that year. The junior year coming into it, I was still hurt that whole summer period. Even when I transferred to Georgetown, I was still hurt. I was still in rehab, trying to get back right. It just means everything, playing for Georgetown. I heard the stories from my father, just wherever I'm at, if I have Georgetown gear on, a lot of fans, just tell me about the history, how happy they are that, I'm returning, things like that. It just means a lot.
So you talked about being injured. That kind of takes me right into the next thing I want to ask. Given the last 2 years, what was the most challenging about it for you?
Probably just the mental aspect of it, coming back off a, great freshman year. Individually, team-wise, we didn't have a good year, but individually it was a good year for me. Just coming back, the group of guys that we had that year, we felt like it was going to be something really special, and then you get hurt, you miss the whole year, just trying to literally start from scratch. It was hard mentally. I had like my family around me, close friends, be there for me, uplift me, keep my head high. And that was pretty the toughest part for me.
I want to continue with that narrative. You mentioned family, and Markham Stansbury is a junior as well. Wayn Bristol, you're a junior. What is it like playing for a dad that had a level of success in the sport that you're participating in? Obviously, the pros, but how challenging is that? How challenging has that been for you?
It hasn't been challenging, I would say, but as a kid, it's different because your dad wants you to be be great. So it's like, in the game, you messing up, you just feel him staring at you. You don't want to look at him in the stands, but it's just been great experience. He knows so much about the game. So everything he went through, everything he learned, he passed down to me. We still talk every day, how practice is going, what could I have done better, games, critiques my game, things like that. But it's just been great.
I want to stay with you playing, obviously. You started off the Kenner on fire this summer. Fire. And Kenner sometimes can be a stepping stone, obviously, to the regular season. What's been your mindset this summer? And if you could take that into what's your mindset going to be for 23-24?
Shout out Team QFD, my guy Jock Q and Dr. Albert. But my mindset was just go out there, just have fun and just kill. My previous year in Kenner, it wasn't my best. Honestly, it was my first time playing like 505 in a long time. But just come out there, enjoy it, just have fun and kill. My mindset for this upcoming years, take that over there to the season 2 and win some games. Just shock a lot of people.
So we talked about the past 2 years, the challenges. What would you say your process was like when Patrick got fired and you found out Coach Cooley was taking over? What did you think about leaving, going back to the portal, going somewhere else again? Tell us, what you went through with that.
Yeah, so that whole process, I felt like going on Twitter, obviously you see everything on Twitter, all the speculation, all that. And then once we found out Coach Pat was fired, it kind of sat back for a second. It's like, dang, Coach Pat, like, he's still my guy at the end of the day. And, I heard rumors about Coach Cooley, things like that. And I know a couple of his players that he had for a couple of years. So I hit them up, asked how he is as a coach and things like that. So whatever they told me, that's when I was locked in on staying.
Do you feel, I can tell you as an alumnus and having been to, I went to the John Carroll Awards in San Francisco, been to a few other alumni events, something in LA. There is a feeling of excitement around the program because Cooley is so different than any coach we've had since Big John. But everybody since Big John kind of came through the program, or with JT3 was his son, and there is a definite difference in the aura around the program. Now, do you feel that at all yourself?
Yeah, we definitely do. Like all the returners, we talk about it all the time, just like how things just feel different. It's more like brightful, uplifting. It's just a good feeling to have. But we all work. We just can't wait for the season to start.
So I want to shift a little bit to the hilltop, and actual. You're a student athlete. What's been most interesting in terms of your course study, your course load, and feel free to mention hobbies that you're interested in as well. But if you can give a snapshot of Wayn Bristol Jr. to our listeners, what moves you, what motivates you? Share what you like.
Yeah, so what moves me and motivates me is my family. I'll do this all for them. I want to, retire my father, take care of my parents, give them a new house, take care of my whole family. So that's what motivates me the most. And who am I? Honestly, I'm really like a boring dude. Like outside of like basketball, working out, lifting and all that, I really don't do too much. I be in the room, watching movies, shows on the video game. Like I don't really do too much.
Well, what that means, what you streaming right now? What you watching?
Am I watching? Well, Powers, that's my main show. Power. I'm starting up Snowfall right now. So that's just pretty.
Have you peeped the show called Swagger on Apple TV?
No, I don't have Apple TV. What was Swagger?
So Swagger is the Kevin Durant produced um, show, and it's around AAU basketball. And this is season 2. And in the last episode, which I think is the next final of season 2, both Howard and Georgetown got a shout out in terms of where the kids are going to school next. And the reason why I asked you that is, were you aware of the power of the Georgetown brand or the lack of power of the Georgetown brand in current day before you moved from Howard?
Yeah, I didn't really know too much because my generation, like we don't really like hear about that much. But once I got here, and I was being recruited, that's when my dad and my uncle gave me the whole rundown. That's when I was like, wow. And then
So you heard about Markham Stansbury. You heard about Markham Stansbury Jr., manager of the year 3 years in a row. You heard about him, right?
yeah, yeah.
Nah, Wayne, we know you. We heard way more about the captain of the 1984 championship team not playing because he couldn't make a breakaway layup without spraining his ankle.
So if you could tell, Wayne, we like to go back and forth.
Yeah.
And like I said to you earlier, we really want you and all the team to know that the support from the alumni is full throttle. I mean, like we said, we're excited about the coming season. Feel free to always, reach back. It's easy to hit us on DM if you got any questions or concerns, or if you just need motivation. Because I'm going to say to you live and in living color, I'm expecting you to play this year. You showed signs of being a two-way player that came out of nowhere for me. I mean, we basically thought we were getting just a shooter, and there were signs that defensively that you could be a standout. So if anything, I want you to leave this episode knowing that you got 2 people who are looking forward to you getting minutes this year, and I hope that that's your mindset going into the season, because it's wide open, dog. It's wide open. Nobody's guaranteed anything. That's the beautiful thing about the rebrand, the rebuild. I think Coach Cooley talked about it more as a rebrand. But we're really excited about this season, and we're looking forward to you being on the court.
So thank you. I appreciate you saying that as well. Because defense, that's my thing. I take defense extremely personal. I don't want nobody thinking they're scoring me. I don't want nobody touching the ball. I want to guard the best player on every team. I want to shut them down. So that's my thing.
Well, speaking of shooting, a little birdie told me about a practice that recently happened. At the end of practice, there were options to pick to who was going to shoot to see if y'all had to keep running, and you were not selected.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think he does.
A little kid got chosen over you.
Yeah.
Who was the kid?
Who was the kid?
It was Church's son. He knocked down the free throw though. He knocked it down.
Yeah.
Can he tell you about the shooting competition we had?
Yeah. I heard Church's kid kept y'all from running.
Oh yeah, he knocked down the free throw.
And I was, to be fair, I did hear, I forget who the other player was, but it was you against somebody else in the shooting competition, and Church's kid bet on the other guy and lost.
Yep.
Wow.
So let me ask you this. My freshman year, I lived on the G2. And for those who don't know, the G2 is a bus that takes you, the end of the line is Georgetown, and it takes you all the way to the other end of Howard. So I was constantly freshman year over at Howard. Had a lot of people from my high school, from Memphis, who were at Howard. And quite frankly, that's where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to Howard. What are the the differences and similarities between Georgetown and Howard?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of differences, you know, Howard being an HBCU, like differences culturally, academically, athletically, there's a lot of differences, honestly. Similarities, I mean, honestly, the only similarity I could think of is that they're both in DC. Like it's literally two completely different schools.
So I see you are like a PC type dude. I mean, so when I said I was at Howard every year, I mean every weekend freshman year, it was because of one of the major differences.
Yeah.
12 o'clock Friday at Howard is an experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I from that smile, I know
The way he's smiling, yeah.
I know you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I went there 2.5 years, so yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So what happens on Friday afternoon?
No, I'm really not interested in what happens there. I'm more interested. Wayn, can you bring that to the hilltop?
Sure.
You know that should be one of your goals. How can you bring that flavor to the hilltop? All things being equal.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a couple. I just wanted to read something, and the context of it is, you know, we're celebrating the 50 years of hip hop, and you know, again, Wayn, you talked about your knowledge for the history of the program got greater once you arrived on campus. So Chuck D of Public Enemy, you know about Public Enemy, correct, Wayn? I'm not dating myself that much, right?
I do.
Okay. So Chuck D claims that before he co-founded Public Enemy in 1986, the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer ventured to start a rap group called Georgetown Gangsters, based on hip hop jackets and the affinity for those jackets. You know, throughout the 80s and the 90s, Georgetown was considered hip hop's team, Black America's team. So when we talk about Hoya family, when we talk about that extension, that reach, that's what we're talking about. So I phrased it that I laid that out there because I have a question for you. If we're talking about Wayn Bristol Jr., are you the DJ or are you the MC?
I'll probably be the DJ.
And why?
I think I have a really good taste in music. I think that's why. I like the old school music more than like current stuff.
So, Markham, you called him politically correct. He didn't understand the question.
Right,
So
yeah.
when I say DJ or MC, those are two different individuals. They got two different personalities. I want you to take that and apply it to your game.
Wayn, to be fair to you, it was a horrible setup.
You see what I'm saying, Wayn? That's why we have this go back and forth. So horrible setup, but now you understand the context in terms of your game. Are you the DJ? And I'll start. When I played, I considered myself the MC because I felt like I got the party started. So I was out front. I was a defensive player. So as soon as I got in the game, I'm coming in, I'm using all 5 fouls. So with that being said, are you the DJ or the MC?
Oh, MC. I'm the MC.
And tell me why.
I think this is my play style, especially on the defensive end. That's what gets me going. That's what gets me talking trash, all that. So
okay. I had to get that question out. Markham and I went back and forth in the pregame, and he's like, I don't want to use that question. I'm using the question.
You see why. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. So in your ideal world, I'm assuming you graduate from Georgetown.
Yes, sir.
What do you see yourself doing 5 years from now?
In the NBA. That's where I see myself.
Like that, short, direct. Somebody just sent me a note saying they were seeing you in practice and you're very intense.
Yeah.
I got that from that answer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, look straight into the camera. No flinch.
and just so you know, the person in the Senate is someone who played 4 years under Big John and has some idea of what it takes to get to the league.
So Wayn, before we let you get out of here, and again, thank you so much for coming through. Like to get your general thoughts and commentary on NIL and just the portal. You went through the portal. You had the opportunity to go through it again. You decided not to. But just your general commentary around the NIL and the portal.
Yeah, so the NIL, it's been a blessing, just being able to legally get money. For me personally, I appreciate it a lot because I can help my family out, things like that, take care of my family. And the portal, the portals, it gets crazy every year. A lot of people just hop in the portal, but I feel like, you should weigh options and think it through because the grass isn't always green on the other side. So that's pretty much all I got to say about the portal.
So with the NIL, here's a follow-up for you. Do you have an NIL deal?
Oh, yes.
Dental, right. Now, it was a follow-up, but not really. Now, I'm asking, you just said it's a good way to get money legally and take care of your family. I'm wondering if you can take care of family, extended family, guys who used to make Gatorade and need their teeth a little fighting. Have a little hookup for them. Do you have a hookup?
I got you. I see what I can do. I got you.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna be in DC, and I wanna be sitting in the chair, Quashi Dental. I want my teeth taken care of, and I want to walk out, and I'm gonna say Wayn Bristol Jr. got the bill.
All right.
Well, you might want to say Wayn Bristol Jr. got the hookup.
I got that. I'll make that call for you.
Well, again, Wayn, thank you for your time. Any questions or, like I said, anything you need from Georgetown men's basketball alumni? Markham Stansbury Jr. is the president. Feel free to reach out. We're here. We're family. And again, we're really excited about the upcoming season. We're looking forward to a successful campaign. And if you have any questions for us about the program, feel free.
Thank you.
Wayn, if you're interested at all and coming on Hoya Locker Room as a co-host, I would love to replace Gene. So you hit me up. You got my number. Make it happen.
Wayn, it's actually not a bad idea, especially when you have a career high, because your career high is 16 against Marquette. That's called homework, Markham. We're looking forward to you eclipsing that this year. So I would say after that career high, you might want to come on back through, floss a little bit, speak on it. But again, I think this could be a platform that could be useful. And like I said, we're here for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to close this out with a quote. Really speaks to what you were talking about with one of your answers to a particular question. I think you'll know what I'm talking about. This is a quote from Mae West, who I'm guessing you don't know, but she was an actress back in the golden age of Hollywood. Speaking of actors and actresses, shout out to Duncan Crabtree. I've been out on the picket line past 2 weeks with the SAG-AFTRA strike. Duncan was a 94 Georgetown grad. He was leading the negotiations for us in our fight to get things right. Here's a quote about goal setting and keeping your eyes on the prize. Everything's in the mind. That's where it all starts. Knowing what you want is the first step toward getting it. So I hope your mind is right for this season.
Yes, sir, it definitely is.
Get your mind right. And sidebar, an addendum, Markham is a actor. We also have another former Georgetown Hooper, Ashanti Cook. I'm only bringing that up because I know one of your AKAs is Hollywood. And as I go through your Instagram, some of your pictorials are very, very flavorful, very Hollywoodish. I think that might be, if the ball thing don't work out, I think you might have a future there. So you have resources, and check out Swagger if you can, because you can play on Swagger right now, fam.
Okay, cool. All right, bet.
All right, we appreciate you.
All right, thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.